Slope Dude. Meet Slope Dude. He loves to ski. We are going to follow him, and he'll teach us some important aspects of slope. This is the course he's skiing today. What he says will teach us about slope. Always remember, the Slope Dude always skis toward the right or eastward. When he starts out, he's going uphill. It's hard work. He says puff, puff, positive as he goes up the mountainside. Puff, puff, positive, puff, puff, positive. Now he's at the top. He was puff, puff, positive all the way up the mountain. But now he can look forward to the downhill. On the way down the mountain, he says, nice, negative, nice, negative, nice, negative. And now, after the downhill, he's in for the hardest part of the ski route, the long, flat part. He says, this is zero fun. This is zero fun. This is zero fun. As he finishes the flat part, he doesn't see well ahead, and all of a sudden he comes to the edge of a cliff. It's straight down. He finds a slope that is straight down, and so frightened is he that he says the worst curse word possible in math and in algebra. Undefined.
Hey, I know it's cheesy, but it helps.
The adventure of Slope Dude. Remember always what he said during his ski trip. Up the hill or up the slope, he said puff, puff, positive. On his downhill run, he said nice, negative. On the long flat part of the course, he said this is zero fun. And finally, when he went over the vertical cliff and straight down, he yelled the worst curse word of math and algebra. Undefined. The uphill is a slope with a positive number. The downhill is a slope with a negative number. The flat part is a slope of zero. The straight up and down or vertical part is undefined.
All right, so I'm actually going to stop here, and we are going to copy this. First of all, how many of you have ever seen this video in your life? Oh, this is so disappointing. Say, you're welcome. All right, so we are focusing on slope today, and one of the things I noticed with slope is people are really good at counting rise over run, but then they forget about signs, which slopes are positive and which slopes are negative. So whenever you see a positive slope, you are going uphill. If it is a negative slope, we're going to go downhill. And then zero and undefined are those special horizontal and vertical lines. So I'm actually going to have you guys fill this out. Our notes are going to be a little bit different today. I'm actually going to be back at my desk because I am recording. And whenever we are recording, I'm going to sit at my computer with a camera so I can write, and the microphone will help pick up my voice a little better. And I've had issues with it focusing, so you're just going to have to bear with me. I'm in the works of getting a better camera. So whenever we are working, just take one and pass those over. All right, so we're going to be going through this 100% together today. All right, and do you guys see up at the top, you guys have a margin that's empty? Do you guys see the empty margin at the top of your paper? All right, so you got in this area up here, do you guys see that empty one? JC, do you need a paper?
I kind of wrote my name there.
Well, I don't want you to write your name there. So you guys are not turning this in, so you don't need to put your name on it. And if you do, just write it small up above the title. But in this area, I want you guys to copy this down. So I can make it bigger. All right, so you guys will be writing. You're just drawing that graph. You don't have to draw the skiing person. You're just drawing the lines. So you're going to have an uphill line, a downhill line, and then a flat line, and then the drop. And then I will help. I'm going to actually write these with you. All right, so we don't have to write like puff, puff, positive or anything like that, but what kind of sign is this line that goes uphill? All right, that's our positive slope. All right, now what about going downhill? That's our negative slope. And what about the flat part?
0.
What kind of slope is that?
0.
0. I don't know why it takes forever to focus. So we actually write the word 0. And then what about that straight up and down? Undefined. All right, so before we start counting, let's fill in these blanks. So it says we know that slope, whenever you've learned slope, how have you learned how to count slope?
Over and up.
Not over and up.
Over and down. I don't know.
There's two words that start with the letter R. Rise over run. So we know slope means rise, which is our up and down movement, over our run, which is our left and right movement. Rise over run. Now, sometimes in math, and again, I don't know why this won't just stay focused, but it doesn't like me today. If you shut off the lights, then it doesn't have a light for the camera, and then it blanks it out. So this tells us, guys, which axis goes up and down? Is that the X or the Y? All right, so we can also say it's the change in Y over the change in X. So we are counting slope today. So we are actually going to count in units. So we will count our rise over our run. We'll decide if it's positive or negative. There will be some zeros and some undefines. All right, so I am ready for number 1. All right, so if we're looking at number 1, is this a positive slope or a negative slope just by looking at it? All right, it's going uphill, so we are counting. So we have to count our rise and our run, and I do expect you guys to write everything I am writing. So we are going to do rise over run here. So we have 2 points, and we are simply going to count how much we're going up and down first, how much we're going over. And I'm going to pick good colors that show up. There we go. All right, so for our rise, from our first point, how much do I have, if I want to go up and over to the next point, how many am I going up? All right, that's up 1. So my rise is 1. Over. All right, so if we see here, we're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our run is 5. Okay. All right, 1/5 is a fraction. Can I reduce 1/5 at all? No. So our slope here, and this is something that we did not write at the beginning. Does anyone know what variable we use to represent slope in algebra? It's not S. Jonathan, do you remember? It is M. So our slope, or our M value here, is a positive because it's going uphill, 1 over 5. So each time on the line it's going up 1 and over 5. All right, are there any questions on that first example? Going up 1 over 5, we're simply counting. All right, let's try the next one, number 2. Would you guys say positive, negative, 0, or undefined here for our slope? No, say, I would agree that this is positive. All right, so we are counting from the point at the bottom to the point at the top. So we are going to count our rise and our run. All right, so for our rise, we are actually going up quite a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you guys agree with that? So we start from the bottom, we're counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I agree with that. Kayla, do you have a question? Yes. Well, we're going up. Okay, so we always read our points from left to right. So we always start with the point on the left, which is the one down here on the bottom. We're counting up and then to the right. Now, how many points am I going over to the right? 1. All right, now 8 over 1. Can I divide that? What's 8 divided by 1?
I'm so confused.
It's 8. We are allowed to, we can simplify that. So 8 divided by 1 is just the whole number 8. And if we can simplify, I do want you to simplify today. So we will be reducing fractions. And Kayla, I think this next example might answer your question, okay? About the negatives. What are you confused on?
How? I don't even know. Why do you not take that point? How do you know which point to start with?
You always start with, we always read slope from left to right, like you read a book. So I started with this point down here because it's the one that's farther on the left. Then I went up 8, so that's my rise. So I have a rise of 8, and then I went over 1, so my run is 1.
I went over this, like over 1 and then up 8.
Okay,
And I got
well,
something totally
okay,
different than that.
so you just have them flip-flopped. So with slope, you always do your rise first. Think about it. Think about your rise over run. Slope is like climbing stairs. Like if you're going up the stairs, what do you have to do? Can you, whenever you are counting your going up the stairs, you raise your foot up first and then you move it over, right, to the next step? So when you're counting, it's like you're going up the steps. You have to raise your foot up before you can put it over and go on to the next step. We always go up. We always count our up and down first. All right, let's take a look at number 3. All right, so we have 2 points here. And we're going to start over here where we're going to start here because that's the one that's the farthest to the left, and then we're going to count to this point over here. So before we look at this, what type of slope is this since we start up and it goes downhill? Okay, this is a negative slope, and so at the end we will have a negative in our answer. So if we look at this, if we start from this point at the left, how do we move to get, do we go up or down to get to that next point? Yeah. All right, we go down. How many units do we go down? So we go down 1, 2, 3. Do you guys agree with that? Going down 3 units. So our rise. Okay, we went down 3, but whenever we say down, does down have a positive or a negative sign? All right, we are going down 3, so we treat that like a negative 3. So let's put a negative right there in our rise. Now our run, we are going over to this point. How many units are we going over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that run is a positive because if you're going in the right, you're going in the positive direction. So a negative divided by a positive gives us an overall slope of negative 3 over 7. Because we know a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So negative 3 over a positive 7 gives us a negative slope. And if you see your lines going downhill, your final will always be a negative. All right, any questions on number 3? Make sure you're writing what I'm writing. And if you have questions, ask. Caden, wake up. Ariana, wake up. Hey guys, what do you notice about number 4? It's straight up and down. Okay, it's not undefiant. How do we say that? It's undefined. Now, I will tell you guys on this one, you do not have to do work, but I will show you why this is undefined. I actually would rather you just know this one. I would rather it be memory to know it's undefined. Now, I want to ask you here, if I wanted to do rise over run, all right, how many points does this rise? From point to point, how many am I going up? It goes up 4, but do I go over at all? So it's actually 4 over 0. Now, you guys don't have a calculator, but I'm going to show you guys something. If I take 4 divided by 0, look at what I get. I get an error. Every calculator in the world, if you take anything divided by 0, you get an error. Can I take 4 things and put it into 0 groups? No, it's impossible. You cannot have 0 in the bottom. So this is something to think about. When 0 is under in the fraction, it is undefined. So one thing to help you remember this, 0 would be under, it's undefined. But if you guys just see it straight up and down and go straight to undefined, I'm okay with that. So a vertical line is always undefined, straight up and down. All right, what about 5? Do you guys think this is positive, negative, 0, or undefined here? What made you know it was negative?
It's going down.
Nice job. It's going downhill. It's negative. All right, so we are going to count, and we'll see where that negative comes into play. All right, so we always count left to right. Sorry, every once in a while it decides not to focus, and it's got to think for a second. All right, does that look better to you guys? All right, so we start from the left and we count to the right. So in order to go from point A to point B, I have to go down. How many units do I go down?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. So is that positive 4 or negative 4 if I'm going down? All right, that's a negative 4.
I thought you said we always do rise first.
Well, this time you always rise is either up or down. You always go up and down first.
How do you put the arrow up or down? So rise is up or down. And run is how far you either go that way running or this way running.
Yep, so you can have a positive rise, which is going up, or a negative rise, which goes down. And this one's a negative rise because when we count, we go down. All right, now, from this point, how many units do I go over to get to the next point? All right, that is a positive 2 because going to the right is a positive direction on the number line. So that is a positive 2. So guys, can I simplify this division?
Yeah.
What is negative 4 divided by a positive 2? All right, so you can, and I actually will tell you, I will accept either one. You can either leave it as negative 2 over 1 or just the whole number negative 2. Totally up to you. So guys, I want you to try number 6 on your own. If you have questions, raise your hand and ask. You're trying number 6 on your own. This is my last warning. So, are you telling me you're refusing to do your work? Oh my God. Where are you going?
I understand.
It's really
All right, guys, you tell me, is this one positive, negative, 0, or undefined for number 6? All right. So we see it's downhill. So do we all agree that if it is starting from the top and going down as we go across, that's negative? Everyone give me a thumbs up if you know that downhill means negative. Almost everybody? Okay. So we're going downhill. So I am going to count my rise over run. All right, so if I start from this first point, is my rise going to be a positive or a negative number to get to the second point? Okay, we are going down, so that is a negative. How many times am I going down? 3. So -3 is my rise. Now what about the run? I go over 1, 2, 3. And that's a positive 3 because if you go to the right on the number line, as you count over, it goes positive. All right, so guys, what is a -3 divided by a positive 3? -1. And if you want to put -1 over 1, that's okay too. That's totally up to you. How did you do? Well, did you fix it? Okay. All right, so guys, we are ready to go to the back page. All right, this is a little bit more challenging. What's different? You don't have dots. Can we easily make dots? All right, we are going to make dots. We want them to be on exact grid points. So if you look at this, and I'm just going to ask you, is this right here a good place to make a dot where it's like in between two marks? No, we want to find good, easy points. So would you guys agree over here at -3, -1, is that a good point? All right, so let's make a point there at -3, -1. And where's another good point? Which one do you guys think is better? This second to last or this last one before the arrow? The last one before the arrow. Those are exact points on the line. That one is close, but it's a little bit above. So you want to find points that are right where the grids cross. So is this a positive or a negative slope here? I'll say it is negative because it's almost flat, but it's not quite flat. It is slanting down just a little bit.
For these, how do you know which one to like leave up and which one to leave?
She said we start with the point that's at the farthest left.
All right, so we're starting at the point on the left. So we are starting here. So to get to the second point, do I go up or down?
Which one are you
Okay.
Down.
If I start here, if I go up, am I going to hit that point? No, we got to go down. We're going to go down 1. So that's a slope of negative, or a rise of -1. Now let's count our run. How many units am I going over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you guys agree with that?
And since you went right, that's positive, right? That's something like that.
So guys, can I reduce 1/7? No, so we just write our slope is -1 over 7. It's right there in the middle. Yes. Thank you. No, you're welcome. Hey guys, let's try another one. Hey guys, where do you think I should put points on this? Jonathan, what are you thinking?
Last one on the bottom before the arrow.
Like the last one on the bottom
Before the arrow.
to the left or to the right?
To the left.
You know, say, do you guys agree with that point? He's saying right here. Do you guys think that looks like a good grid point? Sorry, it takes a second to focus. All right, are there any other points you guys think are good points? Where at, Weston? Go point at it. Like, actually walk up there and physically point. Oh, yeah, get your shadow out of the way. Stand to the right. Do you guys agree with that? I think that looks good, too.
I get that one. So are you gonna either go up or down to get that point? So you're gonna go up or up. Okay, is that
All right, so you guys tell me, just based on
go back down? That's
the way the graph is headed, is my final answer going to be positive or negative?
positive.
Positive, because it's going up. So we start at the point on the left. We always start on the left. It's the easiest way to count. So if I start here, to get to that second point, do I go up or down?
Up.
How many units?
2.
All right, we go up 2. Is that a positive 2 or a negative 2 when I go up?
Positive.
That's a positive. Very good. Now my run. If I start from where I was at, if I turn the corner and go to that second point, how many units am I going over?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's a positive 6 because anytime you go to the right, that's a positive. Hey guys, can I reduce 2 over 6?
3.
Not 3. No, nope, it's still a positive.
Yes, 3.
If you divide this by 2, that number is 1. Divide this by 2, this number is 3. It's 1/3.
Yeah, I had that right, but
Hey guys, and here's a way that you can check this. Sorry, oh, I messed up the camera and everything. All right, if you have this on the calculator, if you're not for sure how to reduce, look at this. 2 divided by, or what was it? 2 divided by 6. Hey guys, is that a whole number or is that a fraction? Now I will tell you, this calculator knows how to convert it. And you can see it makes it 1/3.
Oh, I need a calculator like that.
You guys will get to learn how to use these after Christmas. But not until then. So this one we reduced it by 2, so 2 6 reduces to 1/3. Hey, can I have you guys try 9 and 10 on your own right now? Nope, don't say it out loud. Try it on your own. We're going to talk about them in just a second. But number 9 and number 10.
So you put our plots wherever we want.
What?
So you put the dots wherever we want.
As long as they're on a grid point, yes. While you guys are working, I'm going to try to play cameraman and try to figure this out. It's like backwards of whatever. The way that you line it up is whatever you think it is, it's the opposite.
Oh, I might need a calculator.
Oh, I don't think so.
I'm slow.
There, that finally looks nice. Now I just can't
When
move.
your hand gets in there,
But it,
it like focuses in on the closest object to it, and then it'll just.
well, I'm supposed to be getting a new one that doesn't do that. This is like the oldest thing ever.
I just watched that.
Hey Brian, will you go up to number 9 and point to somewhere you made a dot? And then I'll make the dot wherever you made the dot. Do you guys agree with that? Okay, I'm good with that. Go for it, Kayla. Where's the second dot? Did you? How many of you guys made a dot over here?
yeah.
Hey, guess what? It doesn't matter. So I'm going to show you guys something. Are you ready? Once this decides to focus again.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so let's just say that you went with,
Oh yeah, it's there.
all right, I'm going to go from here to here first. So if I chose those 2 points, how many units do I go down? Nope, I'm doing the first and the last. So if I, here, just wait a second, Kayla. All right, so that would be a -2. -2, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I agree with that. So do you guys agree that's -1/3? All right, now if you had chose the point that was a little bit closer, how many points do you go down here? -1, and then over 1, 2, 3. So if you had chose the points that are closer together, you still get the same answer. Yes, Jonathan?
I did the middle one and the right one.
Did you get -1/3? Okay, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter where you pick, as long as you are picking points that are right on the grid point. As long as you are picking 2 correct points and counting correctly, you will all end up with the same result. But if you pick points that are farther away from each other, you might have to reduce your answer or simplify your fraction. All right, number 10, it's straight across. What did you write? Oh, not undefined.
0.
All right, this is 0 fun.
Oh,
That is 0. And no work is required. So if you guys want to reference back to this, positive, negative, 0, undefined.
Are we about done?
Hey guys, you got to do 11 and 12 on your own, and then we'll go over them.
How long does it take boards to fall off?
It depends.
Like my mom froze them.
Oh, I don't know. I've always had mine lasered off. I've never had one frozen.
What's everybody looking at me for?
All right, are you guys ready to see the answers?
Yeah.
What in the world?
All right, this is what I got for 11 and 12. What do you guys agree with my points?
yeah.
I'm so confused
Hold on,
though.
no.
You did, it's
Okay,
what
did
you
your
did
dots
reduce.
agree with mine?
If you
First
reduce
one,
that,
yeah,
that's
but
I
it's
know,
like
but
one
she
number.
told us to divide by. Where's it?
Like
this?
this one, and that's
You
the
don't
one
have
you
to
disagree
always
with?
divide
Or
by 2.
Yeah.
Or you
Sometimes you
disagree
have
with
bigger
these
numbers.
2
Like,
points?
but this you divide by 2.
I'll
Both
like
of them.
those.
Top and
You
bottom.
like those points?
I did like -4.
Oh my gosh.
I went like,
So I picked, did anyone pick this point?
yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, did you pick this one and this one?
No.
How come you
But
guys did?
I still got the right answer.
I
Okay.
picked like these farthest.
Okay, so if you pick the farthest ones, then it would be down 6 and over 8, right? Which reduces to 3/4.
Yes.
Okay. So you could have picked different answers, and that's totally okay. So if you did not get 1/4 or 3/4 and you want us to look at your points, raise your hand. One of us can come and check it out. But I want to make sure everybody's okay with it. Now, we are not going to have an assignment today. I get it. The bell's about to ring. So we are going to do more practice with this. Do I expect you to be perfect at this today?
No.
No, it's day if you are good at it, that's one thing, that's great. But we're gonna do lots of practice tomorrow. And I know that you guys are not the best at this, but we've got to start getting in the habit of checking Canvas.
Can I throw this?
No.
It's no.
So I will be posting the video today here in just a little bit. All right, everyone pay attention to the front. Tomorrow we will be doing an activity in person, virtual students. For those of you listening, I will be posting that this afternoon, so you guys will have an alternative assignment. Wednesday, your e-learning will be at Khan Academy, so the link will be posted probably Tuesday after school. And then on Thursday, we are going to start a different type of slope, and we will be doing some Khan Academy with that as well on Friday. So today is notes, Thursday is notes. Just giving you a heads up of what's going on for the week. And virtual kids, if you need me, my prep is 1:15 to 2 o'clock. You can call me and email me, and that's the time I will get back with you. And on Wednesday, I'm pretty much available all day after 9 o'clock. So if you guys need me, just let me know.